Hello and welcome back to Wrongmar. In today's science lesson, we're taking a look at the animals of the rainforest. Our walt for today is to sort animals into their different animal groups and to research some information about them. But first, can you remember what we were talking about in the last science lesson? Pause the video and see if you can write down 2 things you remember from the last lesson. Last time, we took a close look at some of the plants and trees of the rainforest. Today, we're going to head back into the rainforest, this time in the hunt for something much bigger and more dangerous. To find the animals and creatures we're looking for, we're going to go to a very special rainforest right here. Can you remember what the name of this continent is from geography? Pause the video and see if you can remember the answer. Well, this is the continent of South America, and we're going to visit a very special rainforest that you may have heard of, called the Amazon rainforest. Before we get in there, amongst the trees and shrubs, what kind of animals do you think we're going to find here? Pause the video and write down 5 different Amazon rainforest animals that you think we might come across. Okay, we're nearly ready to put our feet on the ground and go exploring. But before we do, we need to learn a little bit more about the types of animal we're going to be meeting. Let's head over to the lab to learn a little bit more about the different animal groups that we will come across. There are thousands of different species of animals in the rainforests around the world. Because there are so many different types of animal, it's important to be able to sort them into different categories or groups. Luckily for us, some clever scientists like this fellow here have already done that for us. There are 6 different groups that we are going to come across today. Let's have a look at each one in a bit more detail. The first animal group we're going to look at are called mammals. You've probably heard of mammals before because you're one. Mammals have got a backbone, which you can feel if you rub your hand down your back. You can feel your spine. They also have hair, and they breathe air through lungs. Female mammals produce milk to feed their young and make sure they grow nice and healthy. Our second animal family group are called the reptiles. Reptiles also have a backbone, but their skin is covered in scales. This is because they're cold-blooded, which means their body can't warm itself. Instead, they get their warmth from the sun. The third animal family we're going to come across are the insects. Insects do not have a backbone. Instead, they have a tough outer shell called an exoskeleton. Most insects are small, and most have wings. Our next family group are called the amphibians. Amphibians spend half of their time in water and half of their time on land. Their skin is soft and moist, but it doesn't have any scales. They're also cold-blooded, so they rely on the sun to keep themselves warm. Our fifth family group are the birds. Birds have got backbones, and they're covered with feathers instead of hair. They have wings, but not all birds can use them to fly. And our final family group are the fish. Fish are cold-blooded, and they have a backbone. But they've got no arms or legs, and they live their whole life under the water. They have fins, and they breathe using their gills instead. So there you have it. We've got our 6 different family groups: mammals, reptiles, insects, amphibians, birds, and fish. Pause the video and see if you can name one animal that fits in each of these families. Pause the video and give it a try. Okay, now we are equipped with all the knowledge we could possibly need for our rainforest exploration. Let's head deep into the rainforest and see what we can find. Did you hear that? Pause the video and write down what you think it might be. Well, this is the animal that made that noise. Do you know what this rainforest animal is? And can you figure out which family group it belongs to? Pause the video and give it a try. Well, I told you that the rainforest is a dangerous place, and this is one animal you do not want to come across when you're exploring. This is the jaguar. It's from the animal family group of mammals, and we find it on the forest floor. Jaguars are the largest of the South American big cats. They live alone, and they mark their territory with their poo or by scratching on trees, so you'll know if you're near one. They are carnivores and eat a diet of meat and fish. Jaguars can live for up to 15 years in the wild, and they can grow as long as 2 meters. You do not want to bump into one of these fellas. Let's keep moving. Did you hear that? What animal do you think that might be? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this is what made that sound. Do you know what this rainforest animal is? And can you figure out which family group it belongs to? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this is the Scarlet macaw. It's in the animal family group of birds, and we usually find them in the canopy layer of the rainforest. The scarlet macaw is one of the most beautiful birds of the whole Amazon. They're one of the most intelligent birds in the whole world. They're able to learn how to mimic words and sounds of humans. You might have seen this on TV or in movies. They use their big beaks to crush nuts and seeds to eat, but they can also use them to help them climb like an extra hand. And poor scarlet macaws have a difficult time in the rainforest. The adults are hunted by jaguars and eagles, and their eggs, well, they get stolen by monkeys, snakes, and toucans. Let's keep on moving and see what else we can find. Did you hear that? What animal do you think made that sound? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this is the animal that made that sound. Do you know what this animal is? And can you figure out which animal family it belongs to? Pause the video and write down an answer. This is the poison dart frog. It's from the family group of amphibians, and it's usually found in the understory. These crazy coloured frogs are one of the most poisonous species of animal on all of planet Earth. Their bright colours are a warning to any predator not to eat them because they're toxic. They're so poisonous that one frog has got enough poison to kill 10 fully grown adults. Rainforest warriors use the poison from these frogs to dip their arrows in to make them even more deadly. Let's keep moving. We don't want to stay around this guy for too long. Did you hear that? What animal do you think made that sound? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this is the animal that made that sound. Do you know what rainforest animal this is and what family group it belongs in? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, we might want to talk and walk about this animal because I don't want to stand around it for too long. This is the green anaconda. It's in the animal family group of reptile, and it's found on the forest floor. This is the largest snake in the world. It can grow as long as 9 meters. That's 5 fully grown adults lying in a line on the ground. Despite its huge size, the snake does not kill its prey with poison. Instead, it wraps its body around its prey and it squeezes. This giant snake can open its mouth so wide that it can swallow its victim whole. Anacondas eat fish, caiman, and even sometimes jaguars and deer. As if that wasn't bad enough, they are also excellent and silent swimmers. So there's not much escape if an anaconda wants you for supper. Let's keep moving away from this guy and see what else we can find. Did you hear that? What animal do you think that is? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this is the animal that made that noise. Do you know what this is? And what family group it belongs in? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this innocent-looking insect is none other than the bullet ant. Of course, he is in the insect family group, and he can be found on the forest floor, but also up in the canopy. The bullet ant has one of the most painful stings of any insect in the world. It got its name because being stung by a bullet ant feels exactly the same as being shot with a bullet. The pain can last for 24 hours, and these ants are big. They grow even bigger than a €2 coin. Boys from the tribes in the Amazon have to prove that they are men by wearing a pair of gloves filled with hundreds of bullet ants. I think I will pass on that. Let's keep moving away from these bullet ants and see what else we can find. Can you hear that? What do you think is making that sound? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this is what was making that sound. Do you know what this animal is? And do you know what family group it's part of? Pause the video and write down an answer. Well, this is none other than the Amazon tarantula. The tarantula is actually in a totally different family group that we didn't look at today, called the arachnids. They're all the different spider creatures that we have in the world. This tarantula can be found in the understory and on the forest floor, so you better look up as well as down when you're walking through the rainforest. The tarantula gives a lot of people the creeps because of its big, hairy body. These guys can get very big. Some tarantulas grow longer than a 30-centimeter ruler. Even though they do bite, they're not very toxic to humans. Tarantulas mainly eat insects, but the bigger Amazon ones, they eat mice, frogs, lizards, and even small birds. You will find them in holes on the ground or climbing on the side of the trees. So keep your eyes peeled. I don't know about you, but all this talk of dangerous and creepy creatures is giving me the heebie-jeebies. Let's get out of the rainforest for today and head back to the camp to do a bit of work. So our wolf for today's lesson was to sort some animals into their animal groups and to carry out a bit of research on the different creatures. That's all we have time for today. Until next time, take care.